Rob, good morning.
Hi, you guys are on the west coast of my favorite state. I'm born in Detroit and reared in Flint.
I had no idea. So you're a
Yeah,
Michigander.
I'm pure Michigan, baby. You bet.
That's fantastic. Now, okay, before we get to the reason you're here, which is actually spreading some good news for once in 2020, of course, I'm talking about the return of one of the most incredible animated series of all time, Animaniacs. I beg your indulgence, sir. Years ago, I'm from Chicago, and I started acting at a very young age on stage and all of that stuff, and I was very interested in voiceover work and how it's done, and of course, I was absolutely obsessed with Animaniacs, and I found out that the voices of Yakko, Wacko, and Dot were going to be at Water Tower Place, meeting and greeting and signing all sorts of things. And so my mother, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, my mother pulled me out of school, we stood in line, and we waited at Water Tower Place for hours to get your autographs. Now, Tress had laryngitis, and she was not there, but it was you and Jess, and I had gotten signed a Wacko plush and a Yakko plush. Now, years later...
My goodness.
Well, wait. So I think I slid to you, if I'm not mistaken, on Lisa Frank stationery, because I was a children, a fan letter, and also it was asking, how do you do this? How do you get into this? So all of these years later, literally just months ago, I finally put the last piece in place for my own voiceover studio in my basement. And the last piece was my signed Yakko that sits right on top of my monitor, which is a constant reminder to me that I might not ever be a household name. I might not be a Billy West or a Rob Paulsen, a Tress MacNeille, a Maurice LaMarche, but you have always been an inspiration to me, and I just wanted to say how thankful I am that you have been such a part of my childhood and, now my adulthood.
I don't even, honestly, my goodness. I make my living talking. I'm Yakko, for God's sake. And you have utterly, I truly don't know how to tell you what that means to me. That is such a profound gift. And the fact that it made an impression on you and all those years ago, to the extent that all I got to do is do this, and I think I know what's happening to you right now, unless it's gas, is nothing short of a privilege. Honestly, thank you so much. It's I tell you what, I have been so blessed to be able to do something that I would have done for free, don't tell anybody, with people, like you mentioned, Jess, Tress, Maurice, people who are the dearest friends I have in the world. I've known Tress MacNeille since she was a cocktail waitress at Charlie Brown's in Marina Del Rey since 1979. I've known the people we're discussing longer than anybody except my siblings because my parents are gone. So I'm telling you, that is beyond thrilling. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, we're talking Raphael, Yakko, Pinky. You were on Jimmy Neutron, not to mention all of the other characters that I'll be babysitting or something, my friends' children, and out of the corner of my ear, I'll catch some straight-to-DVD Tinkerbell movie. I'll be like, that's Rob Paulsen.
Honey, thank you so much. Yeah, that was a character. I was a little fairy, you should say, with a nod and a wink. A character called Bubble, who for some strange reason, had a sort of Scottish accent and lives in Pixie Hollow. So go figure. Which there are parts of West Hollywood that one could say that's Pixie Hollow, and I'm proud of that. So no, it's great. To be able to go to work every day with my friends and then meet an old friend like you. I'm the old one, but our friendship is old. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So thank you. Oh, my God. I'm so happy. You get free tickets to the Water Tower, unless, of course, you're arrested getting on the lot, in which case you're on your own.
Rob Paulsen joins us right now. What an honor, what a privilege. Of course, we're talking about Animaniacs, the triumphant return on Hulu. I want to know if this is a chicken and egg conversation. What came first?
Wow.
Did you all sit down and talk about we want to bring this back, or were you approached to bring it back, and how easy was the yes?
The latter. Exactly right. Well, you're a professional. We're now peers. I mean, you do this gig, and you're a pro. So you know that while people are very sweet and say, hey, Mr. Paulsen, if Animaniacs come back, do you think you would consider it? And I understand how very sweet that is that people would say that. And I'm flattered that anyone, including you, would suggest that, we're in a position celebrity-wise to even have that option. But folks, I don't draw them. I don't write them. I am a journeyman actor. I'm a blue-collar worker in the Dream Factory, and very proud to be such. But we don't sit home and decide which next project we want to do and how much we want to get paid. Sam Register, the president of Warner Brothers Animation, approached Jess, Maurice, and me 4 years ago and said, Mr. Spielberg is thinking about doing this again. And as you said, we literally could not say yes quick enough. And the glory of that whole experience is that Sam, the president of Warner Brothers Animation, and Steven Spielberg, the king of Hollywood, would say to 4 rank-and-file actors, we're good at our job, but we're not, Liam Neeson and Julia Roberts. The fact that he would say, if we do this, we're going to do it with the original cast because you guys are working every day. Rob can still sing United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama,
Haiti, Jamaica, Peru.
And that is the story, that Mr. Spielberg is all about authenticity. And it's not, whether it's Jurassic Park and having Laura Dern and Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum, or it's Pinky and the Brain and having Mo and Rob. If we're going to do it, that's how we're going to do it. And that, my friend, as you know as well as I, is an impossible compliment to quantify. And here we are. How about that?
I cannot even believe that something that I held so dear for so long in my childhood is actually making a comeback, and in the right way. I'm so excited. Rob Paulsen, just a couple of remaining minutes. One quick question. I know that because Pinky and the Brain did a split off, they had their own thing. You obviously voiced Pinky. Will Pinky and the Brain be part of this new Animaniacs, or is that now a separate entity?
Well, yes and yes. Pinky and the Brain, we have, we're quite huge. Rob is not such a big deal, but I am a very big deal. No, Pinky and the Brain are back in all 13 half hours. We have our own little segment, but we're part of Animaniacs. And, man, what a gas. And by the way, folks are probably going to ask, with the COVID circumstance, you guys record from home. And yes, we've been doing post-production from home, but we did 26 new half hours. All of that was recorded ensemble, which is the best way. You're an actor. Mm-hmm. You know it's always better to be around, whether you're doing an ensemble radio play or an animated project or you're on stage. A high tide raises all boats. I'm better because the people who are in my life, both personally and professionally, are the very best in the world at what they do. When you get to work with Billy West and Maurice LaMarche and Tress McNeil and on and on and on, it just, how can you not get better? So all of that was recorded together before we had to deal with COVID-Con, as it were. Right. But you know what? The most glorious serendipitous aspect of all of this, as I said, I'm still, the hair on my neck is still standing up from your incredibly kind remarks.
Well, it was honest. It was true. And I can't believe that I've actually gloated to my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle friends about I'm going to be interviewing Rob Paulsen. Sit me down, knock me over with a feather. Rob Paulsen, please understand how incredibly wonderful this opportunity was. I would wish you best of luck in the future, but you don't need it. And I'm so grateful you're in great health after all that you've been through. And please don't be a stranger. Come back soon. Rob Paulsen, the man, the myth, the legend, Yakko Warner, Animaniacs on Hulu. Thank you so much, Rob.
My pleasure, sweetie.